Hey guys, this is Alex Montes, and this is a channel about life, career, and business, and the type of advice that could help you succeed with all three. I am also the VP of Marketing at TubeBuddy, and prior to TubeBuddy, I have had leadership positions in places such as Bloomberg, Verizon, among other companies. But life hasn't always been easy. I am an immigrant to the United States, and I grew up with very, very modest means, and I can tell you that I failed a lot. I've learned a lot too, and I want to take some of those learnings and bring them to you and hopefully bring you some value. My first video is around self-awareness, and I really, really hope you enjoy it. Self-awareness is the key foundation for being both an emotionally intelligent but also successful human being. If you are not self-aware, then how do you expect to know what are the things that matter to you, but also how other people are reacting to the way that you come and you present yourself to the world? What I'm gonna do in this video is give you some of the tips, some of the things that I do in order to gain more self-awareness, and I hope that you're able to take one or two things that hopefully you can apply to your day-to-day life. The main tool that I use for self-awareness is meditation. Meditation is hugely, hugely important in my life. I find that every time that I meditate, I become more calm. I really start slowing down my thoughts. And the way that I do that is this. I use an app called the Mindfulness app. I set it for 5 to 10 minutes every day. And what I do is that I actually just sit down, look down, and try to clear my mind. And in that process, sentiments, emotions, thoughts come up. When I'm meditating, I am not supposed to engage or really start thinking through the value of those thoughts or the value of those sentiments. What I am supposed to be doing while I'm meditating is observing and letting it go. And in that process, you start learning that not each and every thought that happens to you is something that you have to start acting on. And that is one of the main tools that meditation will give you. It will start the process of observing without acting. And there is nothing more important than that. So I totally recommend that you start meditating today, whether that is with the Mindfulness app, whether that is with no app, or you can download Headspace, you can download Calm, and I totally will tell you that it will change your life, and it will also really increase your amount of self-awareness. So the next tool that I use in order to build more self-awareness is journaling. I try to journal every day at the end of the day, and I find that it forces me to clear my thoughts, and in a very different way that the meditation does. And that is because you are supposed to write down things that you're thinking about, things that are going through your head, things that are bothering you. But the process of writing it down increases the clarity of thought, because now it's not just a bunch of jumbled thoughts that are in your head or that is in your head. It's thoughts that need to be organized, thoughts that need to be neatly written out in your journey, not for anybody to read, but just you. But the process of writing it down really gives it a lot of clarity that you wouldn't get elsewhere. And because of that, you start becoming a lot more self-aware, because now you are putting things out of your mind, putting it out in the real world, and the process of writing it gives it a certain validity that it just makes it a lot better for self-awareness. For journaling, I use this book that I bought on Amazon, and it was recommended by one of my co-workers, and it's the Vertellis Book. And what I really like about this book is that every day it asks you really interesting questions about your life. It asks you, how do you feel? What do you have gratitude for? What can you do different within your day? And then it has a section for free writing. So by every day asking you what went well and what went wrong, it really allows you to kind of like focus your mind. And again, it gives you clarity, because even though you may have it in your head, until you put it down on paper, really it is not as clear as it could definitely be. So the last thing I want to talk about is building a list of your core values, of your core principles. So for me, for example, I've learned that honesty, freedom, autonomy are things that are dearly important to me. And around 5 years ago, I actually just started making a list of the principles and the values that matter to me. And how this really helped me was that it allowed me to be more aware of who I am as a person, but most importantly, it really allowed me to cut through all of the decision makings, because things that did not align with my value, things that did not align with my core principles, were things that I just stayed away from. And I recommend that you do the same. So the way that I did that was, I remember 5 years ago, I stumbled onto a website of somebody named Taylor Pearson, and he has this fantastic list of all values and a way for you to like neatly organize them and accommodate them in a way that matters to you. And the very last tip for this session is having processing time. And for me, that is different than meditation and journaling or something else, because this is a time where I take critical eye to the things that I've done during the day. Basically, I take a look at my to-do list that I've done, usually in the morning. I look at it at night, and I start really coming it through and start thinking, was that something that was worth my time? Did I make the right choice by delivering the conversation or delivering a message in the manner that I did? And as I start looking at my day-to-day decisions, or sometimes my weekly decisions, I start really kind of like elevating myself and looking at my own decisions from an eagle's eye point of view. And that has helped me increase my awareness, because on a day-to-day basis, I learn about the things that I do. I think through how I can make them better. And also, I try to give myself some gratitude and some grace for the things that I've done good, or for the, the human being that I want to be on an everyday basis, which is something that, by the way, I recommend you do that for yourself as well. So that is the last tip, right? So if you take these 4 tips into consideration, I think that your self-awareness is definitely going to increase. Your emotional intelligence is going to increase, but also your level of happiness, right? Because when you're self-aware, you know naturally who you are, you start acting in a way that is more authentic to yourself, and that is just gonna do wonders for your life. Now, before I end, I do wanna keep it real. Being self-aware is not something that comes easy to all of us. I want to let you know that this is something that you work each and every day of your life. Realize all of these things take a lot of patience. Give yourself some grace, and guess what? You're gonna be okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my very first video, but if you like this type of content, if you wanna hear more about how to become both a better human being and succeed in your career, follow me for more videos like this. So again, like this video, subscribe, and we'll talk soon. See ya.